Sporting Wales podcast.
Supported by DragonBet.
Your go-to for Welsh sports news and views.
Hello and welcome to a new week and a new episode of the Sporting Wales podcast with me, Geraint Hardy. This is where we review and preview the Sporting Wales week with the help of special guests and our sponsor, DragonBet. Sporting Wales is co-founded by Gareth Anscombe and Alex Cuthbert, and you can find our Sporting Wales magazine in various sport clubs, gyms, leisure centres and lots of other venues right across Wales and online. Now, every week we're joined by two guests in the studio to put the Welsh Sporting Week in its place. And this week I'm delighted to be joined by sports presenter and darts player extraordinaire. Well, she's better than me anyway, Polly James. And a man who scored against Premier League giants Manchester United yesterday in the FA Cup, Newport County's number 7. It's Will Evans. Welcome, guys. You both well?
Yeah, very well. I mean, I feel like a bit of an imposter sat next to him here who just scored against Manchester United.
He's the superstar, isn't he, this week?
Will, the thing is, I agreed to this on Friday.
Yeah.
So this could have been a completely different, it could have just been someone who played against Man United, but it sounds a little bit better that I scored.
Do you know what? I was saying to my 8-year-old, I hope he scores. He's coming on the pod tomorrow.
I'm thinking I need to actually do something in this game.
You did the business. But come on then, let's talk about that. You have scored against Manchester United, a team that you actually support.
Yeah.
How does that feel? How do you put that into words?
You know what? I've had so many messages like I haven't even replied to, but you know when you just scroll on your phone and you see it, it's like, how does it feel? And I genuinely I can't comprehend how it feels. Like I still don't quite believe it. I've watched the goal back so many times to let it try and sink in, but it just, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever really come to grips with that I've scored against Man United.
How many times have you watched it back since yesterday?
Oh my God. Honestly.
I've watched it back a lot of times.
Probably 30 times, yeah.
Amazing.
Because on social media, I don't know if you've seen it, people are saying, swap Will Evans for Hoyland for United for the rest of the season. People are saying... You take him up on that, I take it, even though you love the county.
I'd go tomorrow. No, it's it's nice to see and nice to hear and stuff. But no, he's a strong boy, that Hoyland. I was marking him on corners, and he's like 19 or 20. He's just been bought for 75 million, whatever it was. So you can obviously tell he's got a little bit. To be fair,
he's intense, isn't he? As well, you know. So your family, I take it, were there yesterday as well, watching?
I
had
half of Mid Wales there. Yeah, it was. They normally in the family stand on like normal games. They sat like down the far end by where I scored my goal.
Yeah.
But they're actually by the tunnel up in like the heavens a little bit, so they didn't quite catch it. And also, Mum and Dad missed it.
They missed it.
What?
Yeah.
Well, how did they miss it?
Well, I scored 2 minutes after half time. I think they'd gone out to get a drink or whatever else, and I saw Mum after the game, and she was like, "Listen, I've got a confession. I actually missed your goal." And I was like, "Oh, don't worry, it's all right." She was like, "Yeah, your dad missed it as well." I was like, "Oh, well, you know what? No point in you coming down, really." No, but I had all family, friends and stuff there. So it's just nice knowing that you've got them there. I know you probably can't hear them or see them, but it's a bit of a comfort blanket, I suppose.
Is that on such a big occasion? Because it was quite emotionally charged before the game. And, you know, I was sat in the stands, I could see certain players waving at family. Is that something you do, or do you avoid that so you don't get emotional?
No, it's something I do, to be fair. Like my partner, she's always said when like we have a little team huddle, I have like a little sprint, and she'd always be waving. It's just something we've done all season. So it's, I don't know. I quite like doing it, seeing them there, knowing where they are. And hopefully if you score, you can celebrate towards them. So.
Yeah, and Polly, we were talking before the podcast, you were asking Will about the celebration. Is there a story behind that?
Well, yeah, because I saw you do the, I don't know, we was like, I don't know
chili,
what you called, chili. But
yeah.
I did see, I wasn't quite aware what that was, and then I did see on social media you were copying like a Chelsea player.
Yeah,
was
Chelsea
that?
player,
Okay,
Cole
fine.
Palmer, yeah.
Okay, so what, is he like an idol of yours?
No, not really, because I seen him do it and I just thought, it's just...
That's a good one to do.
It just packs a punch, really. I don't know why. It doesn't really do much, but it's quite like...
you didn't fancy like a backflip or something like that?
If I could do a backflip, I'd love to.
Okay, fine.
That would, I think that's the next stage, but no, that's quite simple.
Look, you were saying as well before we actually started recording, because I was like, you know, did you picture the moment that you were going to score maybe against Manchester United? And you said, well, I was kind of like looking at myself in the mirror the morning off. Like, what were you saying to yourself? Were you picturing yourself scoring the goal?
Yeah, so I had a shower before the game, and just before I get my tracksuit on, I was just in the, like... I don't know, just psyching myself up a little bit in the mirror, like brushing my teeth, and I was thinking, this, like, you scoring this game, that is like life changing. I don't really know, it's like pulled a couple of faces, grunts and stuff. But sounds weird saying it now.
But it worked.
So
I love it. I love
So
it.
every game you've got to do exactly the same now.
Yeah,
If it's
maybe,
Swindon Town on the weekend, you've got to do it.
I don't want to fall into superstitions. One of the lads we played with last year, he was so superstitious. I used to look at him and think, how do you even like go by your day-to-day life? Everything had to be in line, like water bottles had to be facing, so like you'd get that in perfect. It was just
like
too much.
rituals, isn't it? Sometimes you've got to do
much.
it though.
I was thinking, if something goes wrong, one little thing goes wrong, like it's all in your head and it starts to get play up. So I don't really want to fall into that trap.
Have you got any, Paul? If you're going live with Sky Sports?
Oh, I thought you meant I'm not an athlete. I don't do anything like
but
that.
but it's still a pressure situation. You're going live to the nation, world champs. Do you do anything?
No, not really. No, I just sort of, I don't know, take a deep breath.
Take a few selfies, That's what you do.
Take a few selfies, think, what am I doing here? How have I blagged this? And then just go on. Here we go.
Did you find,
pretty much
do you find yourself all the time now, because of the darts, watching all darts? I think it's fair to say that, we kind of, as the public, dip in and out of darts for the major tournaments.
Casuals, dirty casuals.
Yeah, we are,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We're the worst kind. But do you find you have to watch everything now?
No, not particularly. The dart schedule is just so intense. There's been so much already in January. It's nuts. You've got the Pro Tour, you've got the European Tour, you've got the Development Tour, then you've got the Moda Super Series as well going on. There's just so much going on. I tend to, I'm a busy working mum. Like, do you know what I mean? I can't watch it all. I like watching other sports as well. So I tend to keep it to the events that I might be working on.
Yeah.
I won't watch it, but I'll always keep up to date with it, I suppose. It's like football games. You can't watch them all, can you? And you just watch the sort of reviews or post-game reviews and stuff,
But you did used to have a dartboard in your house. Is it still up?
Yeah, well, yes, it is. Yeah, still up. Yeah,
and what you like a dart?
I'm good on the outer ring. I'm pretty good. I'm a high scorer as well, but no, nothing like, I like to practice a lot. It's one of those games, if you practice, a lot. And
we've got one at the training ground, to be fair.
Yeah.
Who's the best at darts then in the county team?
Scott Bennett's good.
Okay.
But Mark O'Brien, he's like the gap between the players and the staff. So I don't really know what he does, but no, that's really
but I know who he is. Yeah.
He we play 101 free darts. Free darts me. I don't even get a dart, so I just think there's no point in me playing.
Yeah, I mean, there's sometimes where I'm literally trying to get a double and I'm just, there's about 20 shots, 30 shots for him thinking, oh my God, my average has gone right down.
I'm rubbish at darts, me. When you go to, there's a bar in town in Cardiff, isn't there? And there's other towns. And I go there often after a few pints and try and play. And I'm missing the darts.
But that's because you're drunk, guys.
That's probably why as well.
There's so many different techniques and stuff as well, isn't there? There's you try and mirror someone. But it's just personal preference, I suppose, isn't it?
No, totally. And actually, like when you do watch some of the players throw, I mean, it's all about technique, So, they'll just go, it's like a continuing throw. And I'm always a bit like, I'll faff in between and then I'll throw again. Yeah. So
Aspinall always rearranges.
Oh, yeah, he does. He's getting worse at that at the moment. He's always, has a little fiddle and then he's like,
Listen, we'll talk more darts in a bit because I'm sensing Will's a big darts fan as well.
Yes,
and we'll get back to football. But we've got to turn our attention to the Six Nations because there's a huge game this Saturday. Wales versus Scotland, and to do that we're delighted to invite onto the pod right now a man who's coached in Cardiff and in Scotland as well, but he's English, so he's neutral in this conversation. Danny Wilson, welcome to the pod. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you.
Good. Thank you already, straight away for that win in the Challenge Cup for Cardiff. What a weekend I had that weekend.
Well, you weren't the only one, I can assure you. It was a Friday night game, so I think we got back Sunday evening sometime, so pretty good memory from my point of view as well. I really enjoyed.
Yeah, it was a great match as well. Let's look forward to the Six Nations then. Lots of people saying straight away, this is Scotland's best chance in years to win in Cardiff. Would you agree with that, or are you a bit kind of thinking it's a 50-50 call, this match?
I think you're right. I think it's a very different looking Welsh squad, isn't it? So there's a lot of unknown from everybody really. Scotland are kind of pretty established at the moment. I think they've got a pretty established coaching group and playing squad, loads of experience in there, and they're in a different part of their journey to maybe where Wales are at the moment. But the big but, one, is in Cardiff. And any boys who put on that Welsh jersey, from my experiences, anything can happen. So even though Scotland may go there with that slight, kind of advantage in an experience point of view, Gats and those Welsh boys, anything can happen in Cardiff. So it makes for a really great start, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be a cracker, that's for sure. Finn Russell as well. Him and Gregor Townsend are friends now. They fell out for a good while. How important is it for Scotland that he's back, and how wary should we be of him?
Yeah, it's funny enough. I was coaching Scotland when all that happened. When Finn dropped out of the squad, let's say, and I won't go into too much detail about it all. But I'm glad to see that it's all kind of resolved and they're all back in a good place, which they have been for a long time, to be honest with you. And I think Gregor and Finn's relationship is really strong again. My experience of Finn, he's a lovable rogue, no doubt about that. But he's an outstanding rugby player, world-class rugby player. And I think he's got better over the last couple of years. He's matured in the way he can manage a game, and he's huge to Scotland. He's everything to Scotland, in my opinion. So, I think him being on the field and pulling the strings like he's been doing recently for Bath will be a big worry for Wales, and I think he's the one that Wales will have to deal with. Yeah,
he's got that experience as well that maybe Wales haven't got currently.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think like I said, I think he's gone through that journey of his career where he has X factor moments, always has done, but can and could go off script a little bit just because of his zest to kind of pull something out of the bag. What I think he's matured to be able to do now is really manage the game well, and he knows when to kind of pull the strings for other people and when to step up himself. And that's what makes him really dangerous. And I think those players who've got that experience are a coach's dream, really, because they'll set and run a game plan for you.
Yeah, we can maybe bring you into this, Will, a bit now, because Finn Russell now and Gregor Townsend, they've had it out, right? So they're on a complete honest level with each other now. So is their relationship now stronger? Now they've had kind of that hard conversation about what happened and who did what and who said what?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's like any relationship, isn't it? You probably go through ups and downs, and that makes you stronger. I think both sort of stubborn people who had to stand by their guns in their own eyes, I think, in that situation. And for a long time ago now, really, but since then, I think they've grown. They went to obviously World Cup together and worked together for a long time. And my experience is even post when Finn came back in, that relationship was fixed pretty quickly. And two really professional men who are all about wanting Scotland to win. Will,
have you ever fallen out with a coach and had to have kind of a sit-down, serious conversation and sort it out? I mean, we've got a similar situation to what happened with Rashford, with Finn Russell in a way. They've kind of apparently been out late at night or whatever, drinking.
Yeah. Internal matter.
Yeah, he said it about 5 times in the Eric Ten Hag. Will, have you been in a scenario similar to that?
Yeah, I've been in that scenario, and it is good. It's quite kind of refreshing just to lay your cards out on the table. You have it out with me, I'll give it you back. Let's settle the differences, come to an agreement, and then work together to move on. And it looks like that's the case with them. And I've been in that situation. It's not a nice place to be in, but at the end of the day, it is quite helpful to then put it to one side and just get on with the task.
Does it make you kind of sharper as a player in an initial game to go like, I'm going to prove to everyone that I should be here regardless of anything?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say so, because you've got to start again almost and prove your worth and why they won't want to get rid of me in this situation. So I've got to prove it, to my teammates and again to the coach to, getting back on board. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, interesting. Danny, in terms of Wales, you touched on it at the start of the chat, it's exciting, isn't it, with these young crop of players? Yes, it will be an uphill battle for Wales across the Six Nations campaign, but, very exciting, the talent that is coming through Wales currently.
Yeah, I definitely think that, like I said, every team goes through that kind of journey of senior players coming towards the end of their days and retiring, and therefore you've got to blood and bring on the younger players. That's where Wales probably are at the moment. I think we're all aware of that. And, we'll say everyone needs to be patient, and that's true. But the reality is...
no one's patient.
Welsh, yeah, exactly. Welsh fans in rugby, there's not much patience, is there? Let's be honest. It'll be all about winning. But Gats has proved that before, I think, and there's some really exciting players there, as you mentioned, and who knows if they get off to a winning start. My experience as a Six Nations, if you get off to a winning start, the camp's buzzing after week one, confidence grows, and you all of a sudden momentum is a real key aspect of being successful in Six Nations. So who knows?
Yeah, Gats has said that as well. He's building on that, I suppose. Win one game, go to Twickers, then go to Dublin, and then maybe you could do it. But a fascinating conversation we had last week, Danny. Rhys Priestland was here and Alex Cuthbert were here. We all know how Gats likes to play, but kind of Cuthy was kind of saying Wales need to change the way they play and play faster rugby and be a bit kind of more adventurous. Would you agree with that, or how would you like to see Wales set up in this one?
Do you know what? The reality is international rugby is very different to club rugby. And there is a lot more of a game of chess, kicking strategy, being really good defensively. Wales are built really their success with Sean Edwards and Gats over the years, I think, on that. And I think when Gats first came back in, you saw a little bit of them go back to that kind of that style of getting their basics right, being very fit and drawing on or claiming being the fittest team in any competition, which they do regularly. And therefore, I think those basics will still be Gats's go-to, and rightly so. But yeah, I mean, you've also nowadays got to score tries. You've got to be able to play an expansive style as well and try and be a little bit all court. But I think to start with, he will put the foundations in place as he's done with other squads he's put together.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating. Polly, you were down in Cardiff Arms Park. New Year's Day, were you there?
It was Boxing Day.
Boxing Day, sorry.
That was incredible. That was my first time. Yeah,
all the youngsters playing there.
Oh yeah,
you know?
yeah, and that was like I feel like that was the first time that they really were allowed to have this new display of rugby that they were playing and then deliver as well. Yeah. It was quite incredible. It was my first time on scrum, and it was like, oh, let's hope it's a busy one for you. And yeah, it was insane.
Danny, I'm going to put you kind of on the block as such. Predictions for the Six Nations. It's going to be tough for Wales. Who do you see winning the kind of the tournament if you can go for one team? One team.
Again, like I see probably the top two, and I will pick one before I blank out that. So France and Ireland, it's hard to see past France and Ireland in terms of their squads at this initial stage, and we'll see how they start the tournament. But I'll probably go France, I think. Although, you know, those are the two sides that I think are the favourites at the moment. Yeah, and in terms of Wales-Scotland, give me a prediction and a score for that game, or a margin of victory either way. I think it would be a really tight game. I do wonder, I shouldn't say on this show, should I? But that's fine. I want the truth from you, it's fine. If it is Scotland's chance, I think this one is Scotland's real chance to win in Cardiff and get off to a flyer. So I think it'll be a narrow one, maybe a one-score game. 7-8 points in Scotland's favour. Oh, he's gone there. He's gone there. The thing is, though, Wales relish the fact that if we're ever underdogs and we dare to believe, don't we? We dare to dream. So, you know, bring it on. But if we had a Scot sat here, I think a Scot would say very similar stuff. Do you know what I mean? They're always underdogs as well. Yeah. Danny, listen, it's great to have you on. And then let's see and hope that you're wrong with your prediction on the Wales-Scotland game. Well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Should be a really good start to the tournament. I think an exciting weekend. Fantastic stuff. Danny, thank you so much for your time. No problem. Cheers, guys. Cheers. Cheers. Right then, let's turn our attention back to the football yesterday, Newport County. We have to talk about it because it is the talk of the town. It's everywhere. 24 hours reflection on that, Will. Proud, I suppose. Is that one word that comes to the mind? Yeah, proud. I'd say proud. Honestly, now just still like trying to find the words to describe that feeling, because people say, how did it feel when you scored? And I genuinely can't comprehend how that feels. And when you stood there with all those fans cheering and, you know, against such a prestigious team like Manchester United, to get back on level terms, it wasn't like it was a consolation 5-0 down, nick one. Like, that was a big part in the game. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely proud. I mean, I had a few beers to, you know, help get over it last night. Nothing too major, but yeah, it's just a surreal feeling. Yeah, honestly. I was going to ask, did you have like a meal or a few drinks together? Because it is a huge moment in your lives, and sometimes when something so epic happens, to go home straight to bed kind of thing, you're on a downer then, right? Yeah. To be fair, it's not really in my nature. And like a game like that only comes around once in a lifetime, really. But we went to the pod around the corner. All my family were in there, so we bounced in there. It's good in there. Very good. There was a live singer, and I thought, oh my God, carnage. It's going to kick off. I got my old man jumping around. My mum trying to hug me. I was thinking, Jesus, here we go. And then I had a couple of my mates from uni and back home. So we had a few in there and then made our way back to Cardiff. Nice. On a serious note, though,
when you go 2-0 down against Manchester United within, 20 odd minutes?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, this is going to be a cricket score.
Yeah.
And no one wanted that.
No.
What were you saying to each other on the pitch? And what was said half-time as well?
Yeah, I mean, the goal just for half-time certainly helped us out. But it was one of them when you're looking round and can you lecture someone about just like, yes, there's maybe a sloppy mistake and whatever, but when you're playing Man United, you can't turn around and be like, what are you doing? When like calling people out. Like at the end of the day, it was definitely nerves. First 5-10 minutes, I definitely felt the nerves. So like little things creeping, and you know, with the level they are compared to where we are, that's the higher you go up, they eradicate those mistakes. So it's more natural for it to happen at our level. So that's part and parcel. I mean, at half time, I think the last thing the gaffer said to us was, let's just start the second half, but better than we started the first half. And obviously we went 1-0 down in 6 minutes. And then, score 2 minutes in. So
that was their first shot on target as well. It was a good goal, though, to be fair. It was slick, wasn't it? The way he moved from one side to the other.
It's honestly like chasing shadows. You're thinking, how's he gone from there to there to there? And you just see the subtle little things they do that just... Because
I play five-a-side, right? And I always think, what would it be like to play against Paul Scholes five-a-side?
Yeah.
Do you remember when he retired and went to play with his mates? And I thought, imagine playing five-a-side against Paul Scholes.
Ridiculous.
Can you put into words what it is? What is the difference between like a League 2 team like Newport County and a Premier League team? Can you explain it to like someone who's not playing?
I would say the thinking of the game, they're just like 2 steps ahead, like upstairs. So like Bruno Fernandes yesterday, like he had 2 or 3 of us round him trying to press him, and the ball came into like his midriff, and he'd just like move out the way, and it would just split. It'd take 2 players out the game, and I just think if that was me, I would probably try and take it down, win a free kick, and then set up for a set piece. Whereas they want to keep the ball moving. The intensity is ridiculous. That's what I mean. That first 15 minutes, I literally looked at the clock thinking, we've got to be near half time. It was 20 minutes in. I was thinking, what is going on here? I can't keep up. And then you get like a second win and whatever. But they're just, the intensity they play at, they're ruthless. And, you know, they hit the bar. Nick's made a couple of good saves. Could have easily been 4-5-0 at half time. But, you know, you need a little bit of luck on the pick-up days.
It's nice that you've got to, you know, see firsthand and tap into that mentality, though, as 100%. a footballer like yourself, and to see how that actually goes down and how they play.
Well, as soon as they scored that second, they celebrate, because I think Amenu, who scored their second goal, it's his first professional goal or whatever. So I think they were all around him, but they all celebrate together. They all come back together. And when we're kicking off, they're all like, come on, again, like clapping, let's go again. Like literally just not taking.
So what have you like learned from watching and playing against them now that you're going to take into future games?
Yeah, good question. I mean, watching them, it was actually a joy. Like at times, I was a bit
without being starstruck. You're like,
I was a bit like, fair play.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And obviously, being a Man United fan as well, you've got to put that to one side, because you're playing a game of football. But their ruthlessness, like it's just, and it's something that we've done in the last, we were speaking just before we started about going on a bit of a run. The staff have said, when we score, whether we go 1-0 up or 1-1 or we're 2-1 down, go and get the ball, put it on the spot, because it puts a bit of doubt in the opposition's head. And it's just like, and that's what they do so well, but they show it in different ways, not so much going to get the ball out the net, but their first pass is forward. And then like they're not going to force it, but if they're coming out the other way, it's quick, done so quickly, and you can't keep up.
Yeah, they were rapid. They looked rapid yesterday, some of them players. But Fernandes played well as well.
Fernandes was very
he played really well.
Yeah.
Did you get to speak to any of them?
Yeah, I had a quite good battle with Luke Shaw actually, because I think I had Martinez, Dallo, Casemiro all around me, who are all foreign players. So you know, you try and have a bit of a chat with them, but I don't know what that means. So, Luke Shaw was he was like a really sound bloke.
So what was he saying to do the match? Like,
well, I was trying to win a few fouls, so I was trying to dive a little, not dive, but I was trying to just, nick a few fouls. And he's like, come on, mate, like you're taking the piss a bit now. And I was like, right.
Well, that's what he said to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I just have a bit of banter with him, and then it was just a normal conversation. I don't really know. It's all a bit of a blur,
but you were talking to each other.
And Fernandes, he was actually a really nice bloke. Like,
when you levelled, and so it was a draw. Were you thinking, okay, let's get to Old Trafford? Were you thinking about scoring other goals?
Yeah, I was stuck in.
I think I saw the fan behind us. Right, he had a bet on 2-2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was saying, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I want now. He was saying.
Yeah.
But going to Old Trafford, that's a really good question. Surely you just wanted to win that game in the moment.
So you're just like, Old Trafford.
I'll be honest.
Well, this is it. Because you're all fans, and I'm sure Graham would have been like, yes, let's go to Old Trafford.
Well, that's what he said just before we go.
Yeah.
He's like, let's, we're up against a monumental task here.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get a replay.
Yeah.
Because that would
Yeah.
just, for...
You guys showed incredible character to get it back to 2-2, and then losing 4-2 to Man United that's completely fine, isn't it? Let's be honest.
And I don't think it's a true reflection of the game.
No.
Because
No.
Especially that second half.
Yeah, that second half. I thought we had a good go. We had a few... I've had one that's just gone past the post. We've had a few little half chances, and, they nick a late one to make it 4-2. But, 3-2, you're thinking, we're still in this game.
Yeah.
Like, if we nick something, whether it's like a throw-in or a set piece, that we can just send the big lads up and just try and get ahead on it. Never know.
You should have targeted Anthony, because you know what? He was scared of the crowd at our side. He wouldn't come near the touchline, honestly.
I spoke to Adam Lewis, who was up against him. He said he was like solid.
Really?
Like trying to like shove him off, but like their core and like just so solid. Like trying to knock him off the ball, and he just backs himself that he's going to hold it up because he's just... I don't know, but he said he's very strong.
Eric Ten Hag got a bottle of wine for Graham Coughlin,
Yes, yeah,
right?
I've seen that.
And he said, didn't he, I drink Bud, not wine.
Yeah.
But
He never really sort of said, I'm only joking though. He
No,
just
he
like,
was
he
like,
was
with
just
my
like,
genuine, like,
he was just like, yeah,
disappointed.
literally, I don't drink wine.
Did he mention the bottle in the changing rooms? And has anyone Googled the bottle to see its value? That's what I want to know.
Oh, right. Good. Do you know what? I actually missed the post-match interview because I had to do an interview when I was coming off. I don't know who it was with. And he was waving up and he's like, have you got me? Have you got the camera? He's like, Will, you don't mind just 2 minutes? We're just trying to get the camera. And I was thinking, they're all in there having the team talking and I'm literally standing here.
Yeah.
So I'm missing this bit.
Yeah.
So I walked in a little bit late and he was doing his team talk and he just said, I was like, oh, sorry, I'm late, whatever. But he said, oh, it's just a well done to you. So I actually missed that. But I would like to try that red wine. I reckon that would be...
It was something
nice
from
drop.
like Alex Ferguson, wasn't it? He chose it or
so
something.
Alex
was it?
Ferguson's got great wine taste.
Yeah,
It's known
yeah.
through
Yeah.
football. You'd always buy a bottle of
Yeah.
red for someone. So if it's from him...
I felt back because when I spoke to Graham beforehand, he said I'd really want to get like a Ten Hag hat or like some Manchester United merch, and then he gets presented with a bottle of wine. I was like, maybe a shirt would have been nice.
Yes, he definitely won't be opening that as well. No way.
I wouldn't open it either. Keep it forever.
That's on the mantelpiece, that is.
Listen, Will, we've also got kind of Instagram questions from our listeners for you as well. Okay,
Yeah.
It's always dangerous when you do this. You can get all sorts of questions.
Oh, God, yeah.
One of them is a random one. I'm going to go with this one first. Do you get free milk?
Do I get free milk? This whole farmer narrative now. I was milking it. Pardon the pun, but I was. That sounds terrible. But I was, pushing out when I was doing these articles in the lead up to the game. But honestly, now sick of it. It's just like.
But you're sick of milk?
No,
Or the
no,
question?
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
right. Okay, sorry. This story. Okay, fine.
Free milk, yeah. As a kid, like that's what we used to do. My old man would like go down and fill the jug. So I'd go down. We'd have like a milk tank, open the tap, fill up the milk, and that would be our milk for the day. But
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense.
when I explain that, people
Yeah.
are like, that is just strange. You don't have a milkman. I was thinking, well, no, because our nearest neighbour is like a mile away. So
Yeah.
it just...
Why would you, innit?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
there for you.
Fair
So.
enough. I think you've explained that.
Yeah.
That's fine. Are you joining Swansea City? It's a
Am I
question
joining
here.
Swansea? I've seen a lot of tweets about that as well.
Because I would assume, like you know, not that I know a load about how it all works, but your stock's probably gone up a little bit since yesterday.
Yeah, you'd like to think so, but no, I'm not joining Swansea City.
Nothing's happened. No talks.
No talks.
I think this is interesting as well because 2 years to the day you scored against Newtown for Bala in the Cymru Premier, and then exactly 2 years later, yesterday, you scored against Manchester United, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
There's a question here. Do you think you could play in the Premier League? Now, my question is to you, slightly different to that, is 2 years ago when you scored that goal in the Cymru Premier, did you have the mindset of this is my level, or were you kind of like, I am going places, I'm going up another level?
Yeah, really good question. But for me, I was, what would I have been, 24? I would have been 24, and I was just thinking, I'm working at home. I earn good money through that and part-time football. Like, I have a great crack with the lads. We had, at Bala, we had lads from all over, like Scousers, a few Manc lads. Like, we had a really good... Dave Edwards was in our car school. Like, we had such a good group. Like, we all got on as, friends rather than players in a changing room. So I was just content almost. I never thought about... And I don't know if that's probably worked in my favour. But I was just content. I didn't really look too far ahead. And I've never really done that. I've looked like, maybe if I do this, I can get to there until the little talk in the mirror with myself. But It's just something that I know I would never have even thought. And I saw that stat yesterday, and I thought 2 years ago, which is how a life can change in 2 years.
What do you want to do? Like, would you like to play in the Premier League? Like, is that the goal now?
I'm going to be realistic. Do you know what I mean? I turned 27 in July, so time isn't on my side. If I was 20, 21 and I was providing what I'm doing now, I've 100%. I think you never. It's the strangest game. Football is the strangest game, and I've learned that in my 18 months I've been involved in it. It is. If you get an injury or a suspension, then you come into a team, then you hit a bit of form, and then you get like it could just.
There's so many factors in football, I suppose, that can
Massively.
change your career as well, and the factors you can't control as well. So, would your advice be to youngsters kind of take it day by day?
Control the controllables.
Yeah.
I've always said it. Control the controllables. If you like, your discipline's got to be right because you're in control of that. If you've got to be at training at 9, get in for 8:45. Just so you're there, you're ready. It just puts you in good stead. And it took me a bit of time to learn, but I've always said through my life, not just in my football, control the controllables. Anything out of your control, it's out of your hands. You can't do anything about it. So control what you do, and it will better you. For me, it better me off the pitch and on the pitch.
I'm going to steal that. And I tell my wife that.
Control
She's
the
worried about all sorts. My wife.
Control the
controllables. Yeah. And Paul, talking about youngsters who kind of like hit the big spot. Luke Littler.
Who?
Luke the Nuke.
Luke the Nuke.
That must have been.
Sorry, that time.
Oh,
so good.
It must have been amazing in the World Champs when you were surrounded by him, who just came flying on the scene, and I think everyone thought he was going to win it at one point as well.
It was.
Luke Humphries was amazing in the final.
Yeah. I mean, it was just nuts. We kind of. It's funny because I spoke to my boss at Sky Sports darts, maybe at the Grand Slam. So this must have been like November time, and generally as Sky Sports is, entertainment channel, sports channel. Obviously, I'm like, who are we homing in on? Because there's always that one person that will do a bit of press beforehand and give him make a bit of buzz around him, like. And he said to me, I think Luke Littler, he's been really good on the floor this year. He's going to be 16. He's making his debut. And I was like, yeah, that's such a good shout. So there was a little bit of buzz around him anyway, and we were doing pre-world interviews with him anyway. But then for him to follow through, because, you can be he was scoring the averages, right? So that he could go toe to toe with some of the top class players, right? Or the world class players, right?
But walking the walk.
But walking the walk. And it's about transferring those skills onto the big stage, which people can't do. You can have someone who's like electric on the floor and, chuck in like 110 averages for fun. But if they crumble in front of the big lights and the TV cameras and the big crowds, they can't perform. But Luke could do it.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't
well.
scared.
That is
16.
So young.
16 years of age.
Yeah.
GCSEs.
And I saw his
crazy.
Provisional license as well. He's
not lying.
No, he's not lying.
I bet you asked him to see it.
I did. I said, there's a lot of people who want to see the birth certificate, man,
I mean, genuine superstars like that.
Yeah.
On the bigger stage, they just seem to be at home. And he seems at home.
Yeah.
Is he the same kind of Luke Littler we've seen kind of on the stage as he is off, or is he?
Yeah.
different?
I mean, to be honest, I've done I had a couple of interviews with him on the stage at the World straight after he's won, and generally, like players, and I suppose it's the same for you, Will. Like when you get interviewed after a game, the adrenaline's pumping, and he's obviously a little bit more, I suppose stars in his eyes a little bit, and he'll say a little bit more. But sort of off the stage, and when he's in his Under Armour hoodie and he's just chilling, he's just like a normal 16-year-old. Obviously, he's a little bit more articulate when it comes to darts and stuff. But no false pretenses in him at all. No ego. Very much similar as he is on
Seems
stage,
like
or what you see.
Bloke, doesn't he?
Yeah, he is.
I say bloke because he
I mean, 17 now, I guess.
17, I suppose
in
he
between.
is, but
It's crazy, isn't it?
crazy, honestly.
Yeah.
What's crazy as well, Will, is Luke Littler will know your name because you scored against Man United yesterday, and he's a United fan.
Yeah, we were talking about. Yeah, he loves his Man United.
Set something up with me and Luke.
Yeah, I know.
Luke
You
the
should
Nuke.
do. Well, I mean, he's come into Cardiff on Thursday. He's super excited about it.
Love
so
it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
Is the world his now in the darts world? Is it his to take? Do you think?
It is his to take. It's almost he's changing the landscape of darts, like for as we see it what's happening now. It's just insane. And I suppose darts people we're almost in awe. Like we're not quite sure what's going to happen. You know, he's come on and he can prove that he can go toe to toe with these players. So and he's pretty much dismantled half of the Premier League lineup already in the last like couple of weeks. I said to him, I spoke to him last week because we were doing some Sky previews and stuff, and so he had the world final, which was on the 3rd of January. And then a couple of weeks later, he went to Bahrain for the Bahrain Masters. And he said he hadn't picked up a dart for like 2 weeks, hadn't practiced at all, right? Which I guess some of them don't really. But he threw in a 9-darter, perfect leg of darts. He had a couple of like 170 checkouts. He won the entire thing, his first senior PDC title on the telly. Crazy. And I said to him, are we looking at like 16 years of pure practice coming to fruition? Almost muscle memory. Like, is this within you? Because a lot of people don't start when they're like 1 year old in a nappy. And he's like, yeah, I think so. It's like, there's no need for me to sort of practice all the time. It's just there.
Yeah.
It's wild. And you just think, how good can he get? Yeah, natural talent. I mean, he's obviously worked for it, but I mean, but
what a place to be in life.
I know. But I had an interview with his mum before the Worlds. This was maybe like when he was sort of round 3-ish, like maybe it was before he played Barney, his idol, right? And I said, when did you know there was this video going around and he was like throwing darts in his nappy, maybe 18 months. Like, we've got kids, we know 18 months. Like my son is 18 months now. There's no way he can throw a dart.
I know my son won't play golf for a living.
Okay, yeah. So I was like, when did you know? And she was like, pretty much straight away. Like she was like, I phoned my dad because her dad was like a darts player. Said Luke's got this like crazy good throw, like as in if you see this video, he's throwing darts like a professional, like it's freakish. So I mean, born with it.
Bit of a different one that as well, isn't it? Getting your kids into darts over a football or
spent every weekend in a pub rather than a cold sideline.
I seen a little tweet about that actually saying you go and play and I'll just drink. Happy days.
I know. Well, the Luke Littler effect now,
So but he's every fan's number one, I think. Unfortunately, when Geraint Price comes to Cardiff.
I know. I said the only time that Gezi gets a guaranteed cheer is in Cardiff, and you're gonna ruin the party for him.
But he is though, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, he captured the imagination of the entire world. Like, this is hilarious, right? So, and Gare, you'll laugh at this. So after the world final, so I was on Radio X in the day, so I couldn't do the final. I was gutted about it, but I in the night, because it was like such a huge occasion across the world, I was on CNN in the night talking about darts. It's like a darts expert. I was like, oh God, this is so embarrassing. I was like, I'm just like, a part-time reporter. Like, that's how massive it was. And like, that's how massive Luke Littler is. Like, everyone loves him. Everyone is like, for me, I wouldn't call myself a traditional like sports broadcaster. I love people's journeys. I love, the fairy tale stories. And this is this is what people have caught onto with Luke.
Yeah. So Premier League comes to Cardiff 1st of Feb. Geraint Price, what kind of form is he in? And explain the format for some kind of listeners who might not be across it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a darts roadshow with some of the greatest darts players in the world. There's 8 of them, and there's a mini tournament every single week, 16 weeks, right? So up and down the country, across Europe as well. So you've got, it's like a mini tournament because it's like a league table, so they can all try and win points, basically. So it starts off, that's why you'll hear like, so Luke Littler and Luke Humphreys are playing in the quarterfinal to start off with.
Because that's round one, isn't it?
Because it's round one, technically, So you got 4 quarterfinals, then you got the semi-finals, and then you got the final. So it's a mini tournament every single week. And if you win, you get 5 points. If you lose in the final, you get 3 points, and then semi-finalists get 2 points. So then you're all trying to win a place in the playoffs, which is then in the O2 at the end of May time. So Gezi said the other day, like, if you want raw emotional like feedback after like a post darts game, look at Gezi's Instagram, because he's just like, he's brilliant. And he said the other day, he was like, I just can't buy a double at the moment, which is kind of true, but I don't know, like I wouldn't say he's inconsistent, but Gezi is like, before the Worlds, like, you could argue like he would win the whole thing. Like the last couple of like majors and stuff, especially on Sky, he started off so well, like phenomenal darts, where you just think, no one is touching this guy, and then all of a sudden he just falls off.
Amped up, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And I see when he's throwing his darts, whoever he's playing hasn't even walked past his eye line.
And then it's straight through. Well,
Like
there's that meme where it's like going through, almost through the head. Yeah. So Gezi likes to play fast. He's got his own rhythm. He doesn't like that to be sort of tainted in any way. But who's he playing? He's playing Nathan Aspinall, and like he's not in the form he was in when he won the match play last year. But I'm sure Gezi will come through that one.
Because you know them quite well. You get to chat to them a lot. I know you do kind of long interviews with them as well. If Geraint Price goes up against Luke Littler, who are you supporting?
Ooh. So, in the last 2 games that Gezi's had against Luke's got the better of him. Yeah. So at Bahrain, knocked Gezi out. Then at the Dutch Masters, knocked Gezi out. I don't know, like obviously I knew Gezi before he had sort of a tour card, and I followed his story and stuff, and I think that's brilliant. But I'm like, I don't know. I'm a fan first and foremost, Ger, right? And Gezi's one of my favourite players, but then I love Luke as well. So I don't know. Okay, I'm going to Cardiff as a punter, see? So I've done all my press before, so I'm going to go and I'm just going to enjoy it. I never want to lose sight of what it's like to be a fan, see?
There you go. Watch a telly, Polly be there.
I don't know. I'll be like, I don't know what to write on my card yet. Like,
now, speaking of darts, because I've known you a long time, Polly, right? Yeah. So I know you are like a genuine darts fan. You've always loved the darts.
Sure. Yeah.
So I've got a bit of a bombshell here, right?
Oh, God, go on.
So, Polly, how long have you worked on the darts?
How long? So, for Sky?
Yeah.
Like 3 years.
Okay, so 3 years of interviewing the best dart players in the world.
Yeah.
You've kind of got a secret.
Oh, God. Okay, go on. What's my secret?
You've got a massive, massive crush on a certain darts player. And have you told him?
Who did you say?
Does he know?
Who is this? Is it Barney?
MVG.
Oh, MVG, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. I mean, I love MVG. Yeah, he's a big crush. Did I tell you that back in the day?
Well, you always used to talk about how much you fancied him.
I fancy. Yeah, of course I fancy him. MVG's great. He's a good-looking guy.
Like
Will's like, what? Yeah, back in the day. Look,
have you told him? Does he know? They used to have a thing for him.
I don't know, actually. No, I probably haven't. No, I probably haven't started a conversation going, by the way, I think you're hot.
No, but like behind the scenes.
No, MVG is a nice dude. He's serious as hell. He doesn't, he's like MVG's like no nonsense. Do you know what I mean? He'll always talk like so well, and he'll always, reciprocate your conversation that you're having, that type of thing. But and he likes to have a laugh as well. No, he's a great guy. Maybe I will tell him. I'll say back in the day.
Yeah, they seem like a good laugh, don't they? From you watching, well, I know you're a darts fan.
Yeah,
they all seem like a good crowd together. Characters.
Last year when Chris Dobie played Aspinall, that best mates, and they went over to like the Newcastle ground, and I just thought they're like probably best mates that just playing darts against each other.
Yeah, and they were staying in the same house, and he locked him out the night.
I love all that.
And I kind of feel as well, like obviously I don't do football, but I feel, as like a post-match reporter, I feel like when I was watching the game yesterday, like the Newport game, I was thinking, what would I ask, like, the gaffers and stuff? And I feel like some of the questions I would ask in darts wouldn't fly in football. I would feel a bit like, you shouldn't have asked that.
But you'd be brilliant asking the questions to the managers after football.
I don't know.
Because you ask really honest questions. That's one of your strengths, I think.
I don't know. Maybe that's the new calling. No sport is safe with me around.
Eric Ten Hag. What do you mean? Rashford's not here. Explain more.
Yeah, I'd be like, hang on. But he was at a nightclub.
I'd be like, internal matter. Break it down.
There's the photo. You imagine?
There's a photo. I actually messaged Geraint Price on Instagram.
You have?
Yeah, because.
Oh yeah.
We were talking about it. We've got the dartboard.
Well, he's part of the Dragons, right?
I mean, like, on his shirt.
Yes, he does.
I thought, surely, I know he's a big rugby boy, but surely Sport Newport and the football team. So we're trying to get one of the dartboards where you can personalised.
Yeah.
And no one would message him, so I said, right, I'll do it then. I messaged him.
He would love to go.
Now.
He would. I'm sure he would. I'm sure he would, because
it's just turned into a request show now.
I know.
You want Luke Littler and Will together. Polly, you're sorting that, and also a dart
and a dartboard. Yeah,
I'm sure he would, because he's down Rodney Parade like all the time. And so, do you train where the Dragons train then as well in Estramanuck, or is that different?
We train at Spitty.
Oh, okay, fine. So I think like Gezi, like. I don't know.
Be a dream come true if Gezi came in. I love him.
I feel like that could easily happen. Like even without me, like you guys could hook up. Like he'd love that. But surely someone down Rodney Parade can hook that up for you. I
just feel like they're a bit too shy. So I went to Adam Lewis, who's on loan from Liverpool, who's got a big Instagram following. I thought maybe I'll do it off his account instead. But he didn't reply to that one.
You have just scored against Manchester United. You need to use this leverage now. Come on.
It's me again. Hello. Just my goal yesterday.
Has he left you on red?
He's got to accept it.
Oh my God,
So
he hasn't
it's
even
a
checked
proper
the.
part, yeah.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
fine.
We'll sort this off, Mike. We'll try and help you out with
Okay,
that.
fine. Okay, cool.
I want to talk more about the FA Cup, if you can, Will, and look back at kind of the other results and look forward. So quickly, Swansea City, Bournemouth 5-0. Because we were sitting here last week thinking, the Welsh teams, they could all do this. If they get the other team's not playing so well and they perform, but 5-0, that's a tough pill to swallow for Swansea City.
Yeah, it is. That is a tough one. I thought we were going that way yesterday, where a couple of early goals, but I don't know what happened with Swansea. I think tactically maybe just got it wrong. I mean, they being 5-0 down at half time is like a real gut punch, So they've done well to keep it to 5 for the second half. But a shame, really. But Bournemouth are a good side, David Brooks was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's so good seeing that as a Welsh fan, seeing him perform well.
Well, I was going to say that's the only positive from Wales is David Brooks' performance,
Brooks.
right?
Yeah.
How important do you think, as a player that knows that what continuity means to a player, do Kiefer Moore and David Brooks need to leave this window to kind of help Wales' bid for the Euros and just for their own careers potentially?
Yeah, you could say so. I mean, I wouldn't get rid of either of them because Kiefer Moore brings so much to a team, not in just his physical presence, but in defending set pieces, attacking set pieces, like his work rate. I think like he holds the ball, he wins so many fouls. Like he is such an asset going forward and defensively as well. And David Brooks, well, you see the other night the magic he can provide. So, I mean,
it's hard to leave a Premier League club, isn't
hard,
it?
Yeah, so hard. They've probably got their live set up down there, and it's it's a big change. So. Maybe for their careers, would they want to go and play more? Maybe for Wales, it'd be better if they're playing more regularly. But they're both quality players. So
you mentioned also maybe they got it tactically wrong. Luke Williams said he did in his press conference after and his interview on Scorio actually. What is it like when you hear that from a player's point of view, going, the gaffer got it wrong? Is it frustrating? Do you bring it up with the gaffer and say, mate, it's your fault today?
No, that's one you have a little conversation with the boys in the showers. We got that wrong, didn't he, today? Didn't he get that wrong? Yeah. So, but I've played against Luke Williams' Notts County team earlier on in the season, and I promise you now, like, what he must go through, everyone, it was like a puppet show. Everyone knew exactly what they were doing, rolling in, pass wide, speed of transitions, like, proper game that was. And I was looking around a bit, like it felt like that United one. They're all just like running past.
Drilled.
I think it's so well drilled.
Yeah.
Like trigger points, when to press, when to sit off, like very good. So listen, I when a manager comes out and says hands up, I got it wrong, he probably says that to the media, then goes into the change room and says something different. But no credit him for coming out and saying that.
Yeah, what's it like when you have to interview, Polly, someone who's kind of had a bad experience or kind of just lost?
Well, generally we don't. It's only the winners, to be honest.
That's true.
And then, but it is actually, and it always Rob Cross sticks in my mind. In fact, just when you asked that, when at the Grand Slam he played Luke Humphreys because he's won everything recently, and generally in the final, so we'll always do the winner, then we'll chat to the runner-up, and then the winner. But it's just, you never want to be like, oh, how are you feeling? Because I feel like crap. Thanks, I've just lost, like, and also like as well, like they've just lost, like, I always think they've just lost a ton load of money as well, especially in darts. You're like, not in Luke Littler's case. I mean, like he went from like $500,000 to like $250,000. Like who cares? He's probably like loving life. But I think you almost, the question that I always go to is almost like, what have you learned, or what positives can you take out of it? And you almost like shine a spotlight on the stuff that they've done well during the whole tournament, and in some cases they've got there against all odds sometimes, so
there's always good respect between the players though, isn't there, after a game?
Totally
they are pally, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And when usually
Barney beat Luke Littler and he was just really speaking to him and like so nice to see that.
Obviously they Luke is, Barney is Luke's idol.
Yeah,
like it's just nuts that even happened. But it's a lot. Yeah, it's easy because the guys are like each other and they're respectful of each other and stuff.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's nice to see. Tonight a big match. Blackburn versus Wrexham. You did the business against Wrexham the other day. Great match, great atmosphere once again. Rodney Parade. Would you fancy to take that tonight, Will?
I'm telling you now, Wrexham taking 7,000 fans up there is some going.
Yeah,
is that more than Blackburn have got in the crowd?
Yeah, it is. I've heard that.
Really?
Yeah, I think they've actually got more than Blackburn have got.
Wow,
which is just
So that's like a
crazy.
home game for them then,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Blackburn will have allocation for more fans than that. It's whether they turn up or not. Really.
That's it. Yeah,
Oh,
whether
okay,
they sell
fine.
them out.
So can Blackburn sell tickets to Wrexham fans? I mean, like you wouldn't know.
You get
would
an
you?
allocation, a
Okay,
percentage
fine.
of the
Okay.
stadium for away fans.
Yeah.
Sure, okay.
And then if there's none sold, you can apply for
Oh,
more. Say,
okay,
look,
okay,
we've got
fine.
another 3 that want to come.
Yeah.
Can we get 3,000?
We've had North Wales on the phone.
Yeah,
There's
basically.
lots coming.
The whole of North
yeah,
Wales,
yeah.
But Wrexham can do the business. They've done it in the past in the FA Cup as well. You know, do you think they can get? Blackburn are a decent team. Though.
Blackburn are a good team, and I can't really pronounce his name. Samodic, the striker who's on however many goals, is a real threat for them. But Wrexham aren't a pushover, and with that long throw, that is a proper tool. That trying to defend that it's like a bomb coming into the box. So yeah, it's they'll be right up for it though, and you know they've got some unbelievable players. Wrexham, after playing against them twice this year, you really see it firsthand. Where you're like, wow, yeah, you're championship quality players there.
Yeah, it should be a good game, that's for
It'll
sure.
be a good one, yeah.
Paul, are you enjoying the Wrexham story with Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney?
I do. So I feel like they're on their own journey, aren't they? Like, do you know what I mean? Into whether they get through to the 5th round of the FA Cup now. But yeah, no, I do. And I was just going to say, like, what's it like playing like the Wrexham players? Like, or is there almost like an appetite for players to join the team because they know they're going to get a little, you know, the spotlight's going to be on them more, or you're going to...
I know what you mean. I've seen Ben Foster did his podcast with a couple of the players.
Yeah.
And I think when McElhenney, is that his name?
Rob McElhenney,
Him and Reynolds came in and they said to the players in a meeting, if you want to, like an extra curriculum, if you want anything else that you want to put your mind to other than football, like start up a business, a clothing company, a sports drink, a podcast, let us know and we'll put you in the right direction. And now you've got, there's Ollie Palmer's got a clothing brand. Mark Howard, the goalkeeper's got a podcast himself. People are going into property and stuff, and they've like helped shape it for
Pathways,
which is amazing.
And all it takes is, you know, for like whoever's got that clothing brand, for Ryan to like retweet, boom. Yeah, you know,
magic.
So I mean, like, does that sort of entice you to like? Would you
It'd
ever?
be amazing that for life after football. It's not a long-lived career. So you know, there's lads in our change rooms now coming to the end of their career who are now like applying for electrician jobs and to be carpenters and plumbers. Like they're all doing courses like on away games. So when you think about life after football, something like that would definitely entice me. But
I kind of feel like Ryan and Rob would have like watched yesterday's game, like with you, and like I feel like because they're like such clout getters, they'd be like, "We want you." I bet you they would, though, wouldn't they? Because
they love rumour mill here, Paul.
No, I'm just saying. But would they not though? Would they not? It's like I'm not saying that's how they work or how they roll, but like they like the headlines, don't they?
I think Wrexham are set up business-wise very well. They're stout. The scouts are there, and you know they are watching. So they're watching. So who they want, they'll come get them. I think if they want them.
You get like that unknown call.
Whether Will does the move from one Welsh club to another.
Here's a question: have you played for Wales yet?
No.
So like, surely Rob Page is going to be calling you soon.
Have you got his number as well?
Well, I can hook you up.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
You're
why?
a plug,
I mean, seriously though, that's got to be in your mind space.
To be fair, I had it at the start of the season where I started the season so well. Excuse me. And I scored 7 goals in my first 6, and there was rumours about my name being in the conversation. It's just, again, like if I got called up to my national team, wow.
I could see you on the bench.
It's got to be a target, I think, isn't it?
I'm kidding. I could see you.
That would be crazy. You know, I thought like there wouldn't be many things that would top the Man United game, but I think being called up to your national team, whether it's like in any sport that you play, I think would be amazing. So again, conversations and rumours I see on online and stuff, but I don't really read into it too much. Do you know what I mean? If he wants to pick me, he can pick me. But
is it fair to say playing for Wales or being called up for the Welsh squad would top that goal yesterday against Manchester United?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
So when sorry, I'm going down there. When would that happen? Would it happen at in the March games?
Yeah, well, that's the next. That's call up,
yeah, is that March? Yeah.
And then the Euros. So what are you doing in June?
Is the Euros this year?
End of this year, yeah.
If
God,
we
that'd be
make
nice,
it.
wouldn't it?
It would be nice. Hey, listen, we got to move on because I know Polly wants you to play for Wales and she'll make the call for Rob
Yes.
Page. You'll
Yes.
see
Right,
some Polly
focus
sort
on
out.
that now, yeah.
But now's the perfect time to get our sponsor Dragon Bet on to see the odds for the coming week. So please welcome James Level from Dragon Bet.
Dragon Bet, the bookmaker of Wales with the best odds on Welsh sport. Please gamble responsibly.
James, how you doing, mate? You okay?
Yeah, all good, all good.
Good, good.
I will.
Hi,
how
you
are you?
okay?
How was, you know the questions to start, James? It's the same. How was your bookies weekend? Were you down? Were you up? How are you doing?
It was a really, really nervous one, and mostly down to that man, Will Evans. So he went 12 to 1 Newport to score first against Man United. I mean, we looked on the website, so everyone else was 5 to 1. So that was a massive odds and far too many people betting. So, Will, I'm really happy you scored, but I'm just happy it wasn't the first goal.
Yeah, there we are then.
He literally emailed me, James, going, I hope Newport don't score first. So many people.
So
put a
that
bet on.
was, what was that, 12 to 1? Newport to score first?
Newport to score first. Yeah, it was like we love doing Welsh boosts, and they're always really popular, but just everyone jumped on it. So, yeah.
Well, after 6 minutes, you were soon calm down.
Yeah, 6 minutes,
Yeah.
I could calm down and then cheer you on. So, yeah, all good.
Also, you've been down Cheltenham this weekend. How was that, James?
Yeah, Cheltenham's always brilliant. As a bookmaker, it's the place you want to be. It's just a crazy place. You never know what to expect. I mean, one year we were there and a priest came up and said, I'll have 5 on number 2. I said, okay, 5 on number 2. All of a sudden, it was $5,000 he pulled out of his pocket. So you kind of, it's just a crazy, crazy place. Oh, the horse didn't win either, so he obviously probably didn't do his prayers well enough.
You took money off a priest. You're an awful man,
I
James.
know. Going to hell, definitely. All bookmakers go to hell.
I know you were listening then. Will and Polly were talking about the Wrexham game. How do you see this one going from a bookie's perspective?
It's a tough ask, isn't it? Will know more than we do, but having beaten them the other day. But we've gone 8 to 1 Mullin to score and Wrexham to win, which I thought was a fair little boost there. So,
good boost.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of value.
Yeah, that's nice. That's good. Yeah, I'll take that. Let's go to Six Nations next then if we can, James. It's going to be an uphill task. We know that. Generally, looking at the tournament, how do you see it? Danny Wilson was on earlier saying it's between France and Ireland. I take it you see it the same.
Yeah, that's the way the betting sees it. France are just about favourites, Ireland behind them. Our traders think Wales have got zero chance whatsoever. So as usual, best price on Welsh Sport, we're going 33 to 1, Wales to win it. Yeah, can't see it happening. But they were, I think when Pivac took over, they were about 25 to 1 and they won it that year. So who knows?
That's interesting. That's one to ponder, isn't it? If you just got a pound, just put it on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Why not? Okay, so what are France and Ireland to win it? Because if they're the favourites, what's between them in terms of the odds?
So France are 13 to 10 and Ireland are 17 to 10. So it kind of looks a bit like a 2-horse race. But yeah, that's the way the betting's going. I suppose the first game will be massive, won't it?
So then what have you got in England and Scotland? So I'm asking this because I want to know, is it us and Italy for the wooden spoon in your opinion?
It is. We have actually got Wales 4 to 5. So that's odds on to finish in the bottom 2, which doesn't paint a pretty picture, does it? So yeah, England are 5 to 1 to win it. Scotland are 11 to 1. And like you say, Wales are 33. So we've gone 6 to 4, I think, Wales to finish above Scotland in the whole tournament.
Okay, fine. Okay, so that's pretty negative for us as fans, but that's fine. I understand it. If we do want to put bets around Wales's games, because we will be tuned in, any fun bets we can do around Wales then?
Yeah, well, we're going to have a whole host of specials this year. We're doing loads that other bookies don't do. So we're doing kind of the player to score the most, have the most tackles, score the most meters, most turnovers, all that kind of stuff. We've got George North to score 2 or more tries, 3 to 1. Yeah, a little bit of a good bet there. We've got Tompkins to score 2 or more tries at 3 to 1. And we're going to go Josh Adams to be Wales's top try scorer at 3 to 1 as well. So all that'll be on the site with loads of more specials. So if you're having a bet on Wales, please come and lose your money to me. I'll take it well.
Hang on, you've got one more that I like. Wales to score 100 points or more in the tournament. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, everything seems to be 3 to 1 at the moment. But yeah, Wales to score 100 more points in the tournament is 3 to 1. The one I quite liked was Wales to score 12 or more points in each of their 5 games. Now, it seems quite easy, doesn't it? 12 or more points. They haven't done the last 2 years. So 12 or more points, we're going 11 to 10 they do, or 4 to 6 they don't.
Wow, that's a good stat.
Yeah. So how many points did Wales score last year in the Six Nations? Do you know that? You would think it's near 100, right? Or maybe 20
I don't know
a game?
off the top of my head,
20...
to be honest. But you would have thought Wales scored 12 points in each game,
yes,
definitely.
12,
yeah.
You know? If you're a betting man, I don't know if you are or not, Will, Wales or Scotland, which way do you go in with this? Does your heart or your head take over?
Oh, heart, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit out of sorts with rugby. I know Louis Rees-Zammit quite well, and obviously him, not being involved is a massive loss for Wales. But I've got to back the Welsh.
Hang on, he's dropping that in at the tail end of the pod.
Yeah, it's like, come on, we need to talk about this now.
Oh, really?
How do you know Louis Rees-Zammit then? What's the
I
background?
met him through a friend.
Yeah.
And we just hit it off, to be fair. And
Yeah.
he
Has he been in touch since yesterday?
Yeah. He comments on my photos and that, and he's been in touch.
Look at you, friends.
God, I'm
That's
blushing,
amazing.
I'm blushing.
Did you know he was
love it.
going to the NFL before anybody else?
No comment.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I think that's so cool. I love that.
I love
love
it.
that he's done it.
Yeah.
And I'm not like big pals with him.
Yeah.
My friend is very friendly with his family, but I think it's a great move.
Yeah.
I think everyone wishes him
100%.
well.
Yeah,
It's a
definitely.
win-win
Yeah.
for him, so go
Like,
for
how
it.
courageous to go out and follow your dreams when you've got something right there, so steady, so brilliant.
Yeah.
22
incredible.
as well. Like crazy.
Wales, Scotland, Paul, how do you see it going?
Wales,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
not a betting person, but I do the 2-penny machines in Barry Island, so
I can
I'm
imagine.
usually pretty
I can
good at
imagine.
that.
Yeah, I can imagine. you
yeah.
are.
But yeah, Wales. Let's go Wales.
Okay, let's switch from rugby then, if we can, James, to the darts, because Polly's here and the Premier League's in town in Cardiff on the 1st of Feb. What have you got on that on the website?
So we've got, again, best price on Welsh Sport. I keep saying it, but we've got Gerwyn Price to win the whole Premier League at 13-2. It's a fair
To
old
win the
price. What do you think?
the whole one.
The whole thing at
What's that?
13.
That's pretty
6.5 in
good.
decimals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6.5. I can tell you when Cardiff met there.
Yeah.
Clever, yeah. See,
Absolutely.
well educated.
Straight over my
Yeah,
head,
you got-
that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I'm just like, yeah, sounds all right.
Yeah, 6.5 to 1. So we've got Humphreys as favourite at 5-2 or 2.5 to 1. Luke the Nuke is 3-1, and Van Gerwen is 3.5 to 1 to win the whole thing.
Wow. Okay, and we'll Gavin Price's first match in the quarterfinal versus Aspinall. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, he's 4-9, so we're expecting him to do it. Fairly heavy favourite there. So Cardiff crowd behind him. Love to see him do it.
Okay, let's hope so. He gets the
Yeah,
final. That'd
I
be
hope
nice.
so.
wouldn't it,
I hope so. Yeah,
I love
yeah.
Gavin Price. His story's incredible as well, and as
Yeah.
Polly said earlier, his Instagram is worth following. So we're following him with
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
I've tried.
Well, you were talking about trying to track him down for the dartboard earlier. I see him quite often at the Valley
Here we
Greyhound
go.
Stadium.
Here we
on
go.
a
So there we
Sunday.
go.
So he's a proper greyhound man,
Right.
which he loves.
Right.
Loves his ground racing. The Valley Ground Stadium has just reopened. It's just by Ystrad. It serves the worst beef burger you'll ever have.
Fine.
But it is a brilliant place to go on a Sunday. It's only a fiver. They got dog racing. Really good fun. And he's very often there. He loves his dog racing. He's got lots of grounds himself.
If we can't get you a
there
dartboard
you
now,
are.
I mean, this is silly.
James, you've got to have a word for Will, okay?
Yeah.
You've got to do it,
We'll
okay?
get him.
Mention
We'll
the
get
pod
him.
and
Yeah,
let him listen to the episode and then we'll sort it out.
I'm all over this.
Let's flip back to football in terms of, we've done kind of Wrexham tonight, Swansea Plymouth on the weekend. We've got Watford versus Cardiff, Newport versus Swindon. Be careful because Will is here as well. And then Salford versus Wrexham. What odds have you got for them 4 games for us?
Yeah, I'm not sure about so we haven't got the Newport Swindon odds up yet. I'll have to check on that because it was all just getting over the sweat of yesterday. But
That's fine.
Swans are 5-4 to beat Plymouth and Cardiff are 130 to beat Watford. Or, because everyone loves each other in Welsh football, what we've done this week, you can bet a team to lose. So if you're a Cardiff fan, you can bet on Cardiff to lose. Swansea to lose at 2-1. And if
Yeah.
you're a Swansea fan, you can bet on Cardiff to lose at 4-5. So they're the odds.
You can never bet, in my opinion, against a team that you love. You can't bet for them to lose. That is a cardinal sin. But the idea of potential Cardiff fans voting for Swansea to lose and Swansea for Cardiff fans to lose, I can see that happening quite a lot. So you might get some travel on that one. Wrexham against Salford, have you got odds up for that yet? Or are you concentrating just on tonight's game first?
They're on the site, but to be honest, off the top of my head, I don't know.
That's fine. That's
Don't know.
okay.
I think,
Check out the site.
What happens tonight will affect the odds a little bit.
Yeah, that's no problem. Now, we've also got our charity bet of the week we want to do. No Dragon bet game of the week this week because of the rugby. So I've got £5 to spend and put a bet on. And Will and Polly, you've got £2.50 each combined to make £5, okay? So just so you to know, right, I'm going to go for Gerwyn Price to beat Aspinall. And then I'm going a double, France to beat Ireland as well, James. What are you going to give me for that bad boy?
We are going a whole 2-1.
That's
2
what
to
they're
1.
giving me.
I'm afraid that's all it is. I mean,
Boost.
price is a good thing. That is boosted. That's a getting never bet's a winner boost.
Okay.
So yeah, we've given you big odds.
Okay.
I feel-
that's where I'm going. What are you guys going to do?
I don't know. Should we just do a single bet? Let's just chuck all the money on one
But
thing.
just quickly, actually, when you ponder, are you not allowed to bet on football?
No,
Will?
not allowed to bet on football. No.
Yeah,
We don't know.
Yeah,
I do
okay.
like a little dabble on the darts. I'll be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want to go for, guys?
Should we do darts?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So someone to win in Cardiff, right?
Yeah. Win the night. Yeah.
Okay. Who are you saying?
What's the difference between Gewin, Price, and Van Gewin? That's who I would say. But obviously, you want to know a little bit more.
MVG is in much better form than Gezi at the moment.
Yeah.
He's just won the Dutch Darts Masters.
He beat Luke Littler.
Yeah, he did.
I just feel
Yeah.
like he would
Someone told me never bet against Michael Van Gerwen.
never.
Never bet against Michael Van Gerwen, and I never generally do because of that. Because he's a legend.
So you're going to go MVG to win Premier League Cardiff the night?
Yeah, the night.
Yeah, I think that's not.
I think
That's a
that's a
good
fair
price there
bet.
because you've got Littler and you've got Gezi,
Yeah.
who should be favourite in Cardiff. So
Boost as
Now,
well.
this is your head, not your heart, isn't it, Polly, speaking? Because I
Bit
thought
both.
earlier, I think you got a bit
of
both. Okay.
yeah, this is my heart talking.
Yeah. Van Gerwen is 3-1 to win the whole night. So, 3-1 to win it. I think that's a decent bet.
Great stuff.
Okay.
No boost on
Thank
that
you.
one for you,
No
Will.
boost
Sorry.
on that,
No
no.
boost on
No
that. Great stuff. James, it's a pleasure to have you on as always, and enjoy the weekend, but don't win too much, okay?
Cheers, guys. Thanks very much.
Cheers. And for you listening, remember all your betting needs are covered from the lower leagues to the top leagues with Dragon Bet, the only place for Welsh sporting fans to bet. So get involved with the bookies that look after Welsh sport, but of course, please gamble responsibly. There we go, guys. We've come to the end of the pod. Will, after that amazing weekend you've had, even though you did lose 4-2, but you scored that goal and it was a magical weekend for you. What's planned this week? How does your week look?
Well, back to it now. I mean, that whole fairy tale's kind of ended, and we're back on to Swindon now. So another hard week. It's a little bit different playing on a Sunday, so we lose that day of rest, if you like, that we normally have on a Sunday. So yeah, heavy week of training and all eyes on Swindon.
Good. Paul, what about yourself?
So I did all my pre-darts interviews last week with Luke Humphreys and Luke Littler. I'm going to be playing darts though in the old arcade with the FAW with Joe Ledley just before the
wow.
Premier League of darts. So a little bit of fun. So
Please
beforehand.
beat Joe. I bet you he's practicing flat out.
Well, it's me, Joe, and Mark Webster as well. So former Welsh
Okay.
world
Love
champion.
Mark
Yeah,
Webster, I do as
yeah,
well.
yeah. Webber.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because is he from near you? No, maybe.
He's not from near
No,
me,
okay.
but like same
Closer
kind of region
than- yeah, okay,
of
fine.
Wales.
I'm like,
So you've got a
not
fun
South
week
Wales.
and you've got a serious week. Back to the craft as such.
Back to the graph. I would like to try and get Gezi involved at some point. But
Okay,
we'll talk.
we
we'll
need
chat
to
later
hook this
about
up.
You just
Fine.
sort that out.
Yeah, okay,
guys,
okay,
it's been
we'll
an
do that
absolute
now.
pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much for your time today, especially after the big day yesterday. And Polly, as always, a pleasure to have you in our company. It's also been great to have your company at home or wherever you're listening from today. Remember, we'll be back next Monday for more Sport in Wales chat. And you can follow us on Instagram at Sport in Wales. Pick up the Sport in Wales magazine in various sport clubs, gyms, leisure centres and lots of other places right across Wales and of course online, or subscribe at sportin.wales to have it in your inbox every single week. And please click follow wherever you listen to this podcast so it's delivered to you as soon as it's live every single Monday. Tell your friends about us and share the love, and we'll catch you next week wherever you go, wherever you are. Enjoy your Sport in Wales week.
Sport in Wales podcast,
Supported by Dragon Bet.
your go-to for Welsh sports news and views.